Welcome back to Gearsaw Studios, and today I'm going to be showing you how to build a gingerbread house. Because it's already getting pretty cold for winter, despite this being recorded on November 20th, and it's always nice to have a nice cozy house that fits the festive theme. So before I begin, remember, please like and subscribe, and without further ado, on to the tutorial. And we're going to be using a pretty basic variety of blocks with one outlier, and that is soul soil. Soul soil kind of looks like chocolate if you look at it hard enough, so we're going to be using that for the foundation and ignore that souls are trapped inside of it. Then we're going to be using dark oak and spruce stripped logs. Also forgot to include spruce planks and dark oak planks. And we're also going to be using birch planks for the floor. For our accents on the outside, we're going to be using smooth quartz as frosting, some red, lime, blue, yellow, and other forms of concrete to be gumdrops, along with using white concrete for candy canes along with any of these blocks. Then, find a decently flat area, and just make sure it's flat. So, in order to start, we need to make our foundation. And I have a very certain way I like making foundations. And that involves making 3 segments like this, each 3 blocks, and imagine that the logs would separate these. And on the corner, we'd also have a pillar. So we might as well just add blocks there like that. And now our walls will line up correctly, and that saves a lot of hassle later. Then do the same thing on the other side. I'd recommend making it 5, but of course, you can make your own if you're going for a different design from the longhouse design that I was showing in the intro. And once you're done with that, then you want to just fill the entire thing in. You don't have to do the middle part, just make sure the outside is solid. Once you have your nice layer of soul soil, which we're going to be referring to as chocolate from now on, we need to get our smooth quartz, and wherever you wanted your pillars, then we want to place smooth quartz in front of it, and that will act as a nice way to divide our foundation up, and of course that's for accents. So do that, and you might realize that you might want your foundation a bit taller, and I actually want to do that, so I'm going to make this 3 blocks high, but of course that's optional. So we have our foundation with our pillars in it, and we want to start figuring out how we want to have just the base building. And a good way to start this is going 1 block inward, and then adding a birch floor. The inside isn't going to be too gingerbread-like. It's going to be more like an actual house, but the outside will be a genuine gingerbread house. So from here, we want to have birch planks, and then we want to just add a little bit of smooth quartz here. We don't want to do anything too complex right now, but on the 4th block, if you were to tower these 4, you want to place smooth quartz outwards. So just ignore that for now. Just do the smooth quartz, ignore the holes, and then we want to have the planks like this going all the way around, just as a filler block. And on top of those, we want to have our actual walls. And this is why we divided everything up. So, where we have the quartz, then we want to have dark oak stripped log towers there, 4 blocks tall, and then in between those, spruce versions of those, and fill that in with some spruce planks. And now we have something going on. So, it's a lot to take in, but of course, just do the smooth quartz and fill in the walls. From here, we want to add more filler blocks on top, and just make another set of these walls. And I chose spruce planks, mainly because those massive trees you can build using 2x2 saplings. So once you have that done, on this side you want to add a spruce ceiling, and also some torches on these, so just gonna grab some torches. Also, if you're wondering why I have netherite pants on, they're enchanted with Swiss Sneak 5, albeit it's not rendering. And place some torches around. Then, once you have your torches, finish your ceiling. because honestly it'd just be way too dark to see and you don't really want some creepers in here. So fill that up with spruce planks, and on the top side, birch planks. Then just make another copy of the walls you have down here. With our walls just duplicated, I also increased the amount of dark oak strip logs before realizing I didn't need it in the design, so please ignore the extra ones. Then we want to have our smooth quartz accents go up, but we want them to be 5 blocks tall, because if we're going to have a double thick floor, then we'd have to have double thick accents, and honestly, I don't feel like that's a good idea. So, we just want to make them cover up like this, and we can extend them upwards. And from there, we could attach it to the roof, but that's coming a bit later. But just continue your accents, and we'll have a pretty good model that we can start building on. We got accents, and, well, we just have framing, but we need to add actual accents. In order to do that, we just add some concrete, and that will look like gumdrops. So, we want to keep it relatively consistent. You could just cycle through them. That's a genuine strategy, but we could do something more unique. So, I'm going to just use varying concrete colors. And yeah, not too much to say about this part, it's just concrete placing. We got concrete, and now here's the actually hard part. We need to make a lot more accents. Because clearly, this is just turning into a house, but it just has smooth quartz accents and is also a foundation. So, we need to make it unique. In order to do that, we can make sub-accents. I'm just going to coin that term. Please put my name in the Merriam-Webster. And we just need to add whole pieces of concrete in the middle of varying segments. And once we have that done, we can start surrounding the original accents with smooth quartz. And we can start making the new ones have more unique designs. So there's a ton you can do with this, so I'm not going to show every single thing I do. So you just want to have concrete and unique patterns of smooth quartz using slabs and stairs. So in the middle of trying to build these accents, I just realized I've made a large mistake. So you can see how I have spruce planks here. But it turns out brown concrete is a much better block for this situation. So it's fine if you don't want to change it, but I definitely would, along with changing this part to be horizontal. It's quite a massive change and I do apologize. But unfortunately, yeah, I kinda did make that giant mistake. With my building mistake aside, which you can correct if you want to, or you can just have a nice smooth quartz exterior house, albeit it's not really going to be much gingerbread at that point. We have a very complex exterior, and well, there's a lot going on, but it looks really nice. But to understand what I actually did, I created a model of it, of one segment, not including the sides, which they're their own thing. So you might just want to pause if you want to copy me exactly. So, of course, bottom 3 blocks are smooth quartz, then we have the concrete, then we just go up again for 5 blocks. So, the original design still present. Then we just kind of replace some of the blocks with smooth quartz. The middle part gets to stay. And if we remove these, you can see I actually maintained most of the original design. I just added extra stairs on top of these. For the top part, I just used this stereotypical design that I have going, where I have the upside down stairs surrounding the middle concrete. Then we have the quartz going up the side and then curving around the top as if there's another accent here. So, very dense explanation, but what we want to do now is just make an entrance. I replaced these logs with wood, and yeah, there's not much to say. Next, we need to do a entrance. So, because this is elevated because of the foundation down here, we need to, well, make a staircase. So, easiest thing to do is completely remove any accent we have going on here. And then we need some sort of block that we can walk on. We can't use smooth quartz because that's the frosting. So what we want to do is get some stairs. And I recommend using whatever your floor in the interior is. And that is birch planks for my situation, which I would recommend. And we want to make a staircase downward. So for our design, we place down one smooth quartz block like this. Then we have alternate facing stairs like that. Repeat that a couple of times until you reach the ground. So, the easy way to do that is just do this and then place the stairs on top of it, as if you're going to walk on these. Then, in the middle, soil. Place your birch planks on top, and now we have a basic staircase. Albeit, I would recommend making it 3 wide instead of 1 wide. I widened up the staircase, so same exact design, just with the inner part being 3 by 3 instead of 1 by 1, and I removed the yellow concrete here. And it's looking really good. The final thing we need to do for the exterior, excluding the roof and the interior having windows that changes the exterior, we need some spruce leaves. Albeit it does cover up the foundation, it does add a bit. And if you look closely, you can still see the soil. So, I just add the spruce leaves, of course. It's optional, you could have them lower, you could just have them 1 block if you really want to see the original design. But I'm going to go for our 2 by 2 by 3. So that way we have a nice splash of green in the build that isn't the lime concrete. Bushes are now in place, and I'm very happy with this. Excluding windows and the roof, we now have a complete exterior. So, onward to the interior, and you mainly just want to fill it out with normal things that you need. And we'll cover decorations later. But first off, we do need a staircase. And a good way to make a staircase is to go off to a corner or the middle if we want to have a fireplace too, which I do want. And we want to punch a hole into the ceiling. Note the double layered floors that we have in place. And what we want to do is kind of do what we have outside. So, we just place down our stairs. We might want to make this 3 wide. And see how many we need to get up to the floor again. And you can see this is going to it needs to be quite wide. So perhaps going to the middle wouldn't be the best choice on smaller builds. So, once you figured out that, then you want to place some brown concrete under your stairs like this, and then do what we had outside, where we place down our dark oak planks like that, and then we put stairs on either side to make a railing. So, the choice is yours if you want to confine it to a corner or put it in the middle. So, I might have gone a little overboard with the staircase, where we go up and then we have a railing around here, but at the same time it does look a little unpolished, so you might want to add extra stairs if you're doing this railing design. There's a lot going on and I haven't really adequately explained it, but what you really just want is a nice staircase that goes around, and then have these planks loop around whatever railing you have, so that way it blends in a little better, and just make sure you can go up. Along with that, if you didn't completely fill in this area, now's the time to do it, because you can see that some parts actually just don't connect up, so you might want to add a different accent here than what I'm doing, but you do have to connect up areas if you can see them. So, deep slate works good, albeit that wouldn't be a very pleasant experience if this is meant to be eaten. But, anyways, you want to have our railing, the staircase, and then whatever utilities you think you need. We have some of our utilities in here, enchanting, just normal things, and we also have a painting behind. We have a secret passage hidden by a painting behind the staircase. So, we just want to add whatever else you need. More crafting tables, a bed, jukebox with more music discs than you really are going to listen to, as in 17 copies of disc 13. And what we want to do from here is add some glass panes. So, just some windows. You can color them, but I'm going to just leave them plain. We got the second floor done. Nothing to really add here, we already had everything. So we just have a table, some music discs, a bed, well really double bed, and Jimothy, which is a combination of a dragon egg and a dragon head. And he is a legendary thing. So, with that out of the way, we want to finally put some sort of roof on this build. But first, we need to have just a brown concrete roof. Nothing else to say here, just add a brown concrete roof. Due to the building being taller, we now need to have one final layer of accents. And that's pretty simple. Just have some smooth quartz to concrete. Nothing new. But we need to start placing down some dark oak stairs to be the beginning of our roof. And our roof is going to have a slope of 2 versus 1 slope roof. And essentially that means we're going to be having an extra block in between each layer. So if a 1 roof would look like this, then a 2 roof would look something more like this. So you can see it goes up at twice the rate, which means a much taller roof. But we can make this look really good if done right, such as over there, albeit the rest of the build isn't the best. Still, we just need this bottom layer to get going, and then we have to go up with our T-slope over here. On second thought, this roof is kind of tall, because you can see I only have one side, and I'm going down the middle, so just a little bit of verification, you can see this lines up, and yeah, that's a little bit too tall. So I'm actually just going to go with a 1 slope roof, because sometimes it's just a little bit too much. Like over there, you can see the sides are a little bit thinner, so it's actually just gonna fly over there. You can see, unlike our current thing, which is probably like 12, 13, this is closer to 9. So it ends up being a little bit shorter, but of course every block does matter on a 2 slope roof, and overall it would just end up too tall for such a small building. So I'm going to scrap that idea and go for a 1 slope roof. If you're still interested in that, then you can try it out, because everything I'm going to say here will still work on it. Just go with a 1 slope roof instead. So we got a roof, and it's really just a frame, but there's one special thing about this frame. Unlike most roofs, you can see that there's a block in the middle. Rather than just having only stairs, you can see there's a complete block there. So what we want to do is connect these up like this, nothing too difficult. And you might as well place another block under this, because we're going to be using a snow roof, which is very annoying to build in survival and quite annoying to build in creative. But it looks very good, and it's immune to getting snowed on. So what we want to do is we just need an extra wall here, and in order to do that, well, we just copy whatever design you chose downstairs over here, and we place the brown concrete on top, and yeah, it's very basic. Then extend this inward by 1 block so that way it connects. Make sure your accents are complete, and then we'll be going down to business with this roof. This wall we have going on here looks really nice, especially with the contrast from our thick roof line. And the final thing we need to do here, well, second final, is we need to place down a layer of snow, 1 block inward. We can see where we have the normal blocks, we want to have snow. And we just stack this through, and then once we're done, we can move on to the final step, placing a ton of snow layers. But that's actually quite complicated to place a ton of snow layers, because just a lot of factors go into it. Snow in place, we now need to do the actually complicated part of the snow roof, and that is placing snow layers. And, well, this sounds kind of laughable, but all the snow layers you need requires an obscene amount of shoveling, and on top of that, you need to place a lot. So what you want to do is create some texture variants. Add some mounds by placing extra there, and you can have to destroy it sometimes in order to add variance. And some parts will go lower, some parts will go higher, so you need to pretend this is like some terrain. Like pretend you're trying to make a 1.18 generation. You don't just immediately jump up. Of course, there's coastlines, but let's ignore that. But you see how you have to slowly go up? Then you can stay up for a while, but over time you'll have to go back down. That's what we want to be doing here. So pretend you're world generation, and you're trying to make some hills. So don't make any crazy plateaus, but give it some variance. For the final part of our build, we need to add windows and something called dormers onto either side of the roof. So, for the front side, we're going to just be using a simple window design, and there's a lot you could do with this, but honestly, you don't need to do much, or even anything at all with this. So, we just build a window, and yeah, we just kind of just build a window. There's really nothing to say about it, it's just a window. And once you've built your window, build one on the other side. The small window is now in place, and I also made just a very crude interior to this. I'm not including it in the build mainly because if we were to have a ladder into here, we just have more issues, albeit this is a good place to add storage if you don't do it in the basement. What we want to do is add these things called dormers, and essentially they're like small windows. So choose a random spot on the side of your roof, certain Y elevation, remove the snow from it. Then, what we want to do is get some dark oak planks, place down a couple here, replace the blocks there. Then, we can have a small little window here. Make it extend into the roof, add a small glass pane here, but not before punching it out so it actually connects up, but I'm actually just going to have a fake wall behind it. And we can have up to 3 of these. So, I recommend adding a few. If you don't really want to, then that's fine. Our dormers are now complete, which means this build is finished. It's a very nice gingerbread house, albeit it's not safe for human consumption due to the vast majority being concrete, wood, or smooth quartz. We still have a very nice looking place. It has all your utilities besides storage, which we can put in the basement or attic, and it's just kind of cozy in here. Inside, normal house with concrete walls. Outside, something you can add to your festive wonderland. And with that, it's the end of today's video. If you enjoyed this video, remember, please like and subscribe. It really helps me out. So, take care, enjoy your new gingerbread house. Gearsaw out.